A pleasant morning to all of you. I am Raymond from BS Psychology 2. Together with my partner Clyde Latonia, we are going to report the life of Raymond Castell. Raymond Bernard Castell was born in Staffordshire, England on March 20, 1905 to a family of engineers. He was a British-born American psychologist considered to be one of the world's leading personality theories. He is well known for his exploration of many areas in psychology. Castell had two brothers. He was a bright student, and as a boy, he witnessed the carnage and the casualties of World War I. In college, he attended the University of London, completing his doctoral degree in 1929 at the age of 23. There, he learned Spearman's factor analysis, a mathematical procedure that was developed to study intelligence. In 1937, Castell was invited to the state by Eleanor Thorndike in New York. Aside from psychology, he also studied and became familiar with chemistry, which led him to develop a table of elements for differentiate factors. He spent 6 years as director of the City Psychological Clinic, a child guidance center in Leicester. In 1997, he was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award from the American Psychological Foundation. Raymond Castell died in February 2, 1998, leaving his 16 personality factors that governs our development. He termed these factors as source traits because Castell believed that they are responsible for the surface behavior we think of our personality. What is the structure-based system theory? It is a set of traits that guide behavior, but can be modified by complex interactions with the culture and different situations. This theory sees personality as a product of the interactions between personal attributes or traits and the environment. What is the factor analysis? The factor analysis is a statistical method used to describe variability among observed correlated variables in terms of one or more unobserved variables. It is a method to find underlying correlation in a large group of data. It begins by making specific observations of many individuals and then further reduce it to more general variables or factors. This reduction is done by identifying which of them is interrelated, and it is identified by calculating the correlation between each variable. With this method, he was able to whittle his list to 16 personality factors. According to Castell, there is a continuum of personality traits. In other words, each person contains all of these 16 traits to a certain degree, but they might be high in some traits and low in others. So what is the 16 personality factors? Castell's 16 personality factors or 16 personality trait theory is an assessment tool used to establish a person's personality. According to Castell, each person possesses each of these 16 characteristics up to a certain degree, but some are more applicable than others. For example, where some people have a rich imagination, others can be very practical and realistic.
So, Raymond Cattell's 16 personality factors are warmth. It is a preference for interpersonal closeness and empathy, and inclination to present an approachable exterior. So, warmth is the tendency to move toward others seeking closeness and connection. Example of warmth is the affection, kindliness, and friendliness towards other person. Reasoning. Reasoning is the use of quantitative measures to arrive at several different conclusions and considering possible extraneous variables. It is the thinking about something in a logical way. Emotional stability. Emotional stability is the ability to keep cool under time of stress or uncertainty and put data over feelings. So with emotional stability, you can withstand difficult situations. Dominance. Dominance is more than control or force. It's a method of asserting power over a situation and being proactive. This trait is you control over others. Liveliness. Liveliness is the outwardly expressive energy and action, or the drive to keep excitement levels high. This is the tendency to be high energy, fun-loving, and carefree towards others. Rule consciousness. Rule consciousness is the drive to uphold pre-established rules and systems and expect the community to do the same. It involves adopting and conscientiously following society's accepted standard of behavior. Example of rule consciousness is our rights, or the rules concerning what people ought to do or allowed to do according to ethical principles. Social boldness. Social boldness is the inclination to initiate social gatherings and quickly establish familiar relationships from the get-go. This is the tendency to seek social interaction in a confident, fearless manner, enjoying challenges, risk, and being the center of attention. Sensitivity. Sensitivity is the tendency to be swayed and affected by emotions and feelings and deeply experiencing them all. Openness to sensitive feelings, emotions, intuition, and aesthetic dimensions.
Vigilance. The extent to which someone is cautious with regard to the intention and motivation of others. Abstractness. It is the amount of attention that someone pays to abstract rather than concrete observations. The privateness. It is the extent to which someone is discreet or non-disclosing. Apprehension. The extent to which a person may be self-doubting, guilt-prone, or insecure. Openness to change. It is the extent to which a person enjoys new situations and experiences. Self-reliance. To which a person is a joiner and follower dependent. Perfectionism. The need of someone feels to trust in structure rather than leaving things to chance. Tension. The extent to which a person may be frustrated by different situations.
Next is the methods of observation. There are three methods of observation by Raymond Castell. So the first is the L data or life data. L data gathered from one's life records or life history. So the term life data refers to measurements of product life. So product life can be measured in hours, miles, cycles, or any other metric that applies to the period of successful operation. Or life data is the information about an individual's personality based on their life record. Second is the Q data. Q data or questionnaire data. Questionnaire data is information gathered from questionnaires and interviews. It is the information about an individual gathered from observations, judgments, and evaluation of that person as provided via self-report inventories. It is also called S data. It is the personality data gleaned from questionnaire. And the last one is the T data or test data. It is the information obtained from objective testing situation. This is information about an individual gathered from formal scientific measurement and objective testing.
What critics say about Castell? The research generation is very high because it organizes a huge amount of research. The falsifiability is high because it lends to be either confirmed or disconfirmed. Organization and exploration of data is also high because the factors were reduced to some quantity. The guidance for practitioners are average because some psychologists criticize Castell's work. The internal consistency is high because most terms were operationally defined. The parsimony is very high because it also predicated on the idea of the fewest factors possible. Although Castell contributed much to personality research through the use of factor analysis, his theory is greatly criticized.
So the last is the concept of humanity by Raymond Castell. Free will versus determinism. Optimism versus pessimism. Casualty versus teleology. Conscious versus unconscious. Biological versus social. Uniqueness versus similarities. And the last is the source and other traits as determinants of behavior.